Ok. Bem-vindos a mais um episódio de Dragon Age Origins. Eu tive aqui uns problemas. Eu basicamente perdi o outro save do que eu tinha gravado até agora, então eu basicamente comecei tudo de novo. E basicamente fiz isto até parar, com as mesmas escolhas, fiz isto até parar onde nós tínhamos parado no último episódio. Então, eu joguei mais 3 horas de jogo para conseguirmos continuar aqui a nossa história. Então, prontos. Vamos então começar aqui a falar com a Liliana.
Yes?
I think you should go now. I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
So it's just a dream. Okay, now that you dreamed of the bright.
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want me help? Did you hear voices? I don't need you making difference in my life. Epá, isto é ser um pouco grosso, né? Não quero no criador, mas ser grosso também não. And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
The bright is to make a punishment with feet. I suppose. Should he say to make a SOFs? Sim, the Shanty say to make a SOFs.
He's still here. I hear him in the wind and the waves. I feel him in the sunlight that warms my skin. I know what the Chantry says about the Maker, and what should I believe? What I feel in my heart, or what others tell me?
I believe what feels right to you, Viviana.
Thank you. It's nice to find someone who agrees. I know what I know, and no one will ever make that untrue.
Ok? Cada um acredita no que quer
Yes.
acreditar. I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
What was life like in the Shanty cloister?
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Yes, they tend to be self-righteous.
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
I don't really want to make a walking on my way. What did you say to them?
What can I say to them? What they believe is what the Chantry says, and the Chantry is infallible, yes? Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry.
Okay.
But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
Okay.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well,
Eu sou
here I
chato.
am.
Desculpa aí. What would someone like you been doing in Wandering Chantries?
What is meant by someone like me?
You just don't see, a beautiful, charming woman like yourself.
And there were no beautiful, charming women in the cloisters, you think? You would be wrong. There were many lovely young initiates in the Lothering cloister, all of them chaste and virtuous. It added to their mystique. Because then, they were forbidden. And forbidden fruit is the sweeter, no?
Talvez. Those initiates can't have been more lovely than you.
Flatterer. I, however, did not take vows, and so perhaps I am not as enigmatic? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
Anyway. So your skills were learned before your time in the Chantry?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
Pois, Viviana, não tem nada a ver por ter sido uma ladra, nem... Nada a ver com isso, claro que não. Nada a ver.
Yes? Something you need?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
O que é que eu tenho para falar? Ih, tenho bué das cenas para falar com ela. Why did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
Ou seja, tu és de Orveiras, mas a tua mãe é Ferelden, ok. What happened to your mother?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
É chato. What was Cecile like?
She was an elderly lady, very refined and proper. She had impeccable manners and taste, more so than a lot of Orlesian ladies. Cecily was also kind. My mother was unmarried and with child. It was scandalous, and Cecily had every right to turn my mother out. She didn't. Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andrastis Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
Ok.
Yes? Something you need? Yes? What's on your mind?
Do you miss anything about Orvais?
I miss Valroyaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Valroyaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Valroyaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
É pena que só podemos visitar essa cidade no terceiro jogo, porque a cidade é bem bacana até. It sounds wonderful.
Oh, it would take me a day or two to talk about the many splendors of Orlais, her golden fields, her lush meadows.
É,
Of course, there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
pois as pessoas da corte em Orvais é que elas são qualquer coisa, mentirosas, cínicas, falsas. Só coisa boa em Orvais. you must do you have you must have been a big chance moving to Lothering.
I left behind much, leaving Orlais. But there is more to life than dresses and furs. It is sad that many have lost sight of this. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes! Living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Oh, abaixo. Não. Shoes are shoes. Pois, ela tem uma tara qualquer por sapatos. You can get nice shoes in Lothering.
Perhaps. Ferelden folk are so much more practical I don't see them making use of something simply for its looks. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
That sounds lovely.
I had my eye on a pair my shoemaker was working on. It was covered in pale blue silk with amber beads on the toe. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
Nossa, you don't need fancy shoes to make you beautiful.
Thank you.
Nossa.
It's kind of you to say so, even wearing these mud-covered horrors.
Tá.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
Por acaso eu já volto contigo. Eu só vou fazer aqui uma cena antes de tudo. Que é. Então, vamos aqui ver. Eu estou aqui com uma cena que é para ver os presentes. Então, do Alistair, aqui os presentes, deixa eu cá ver. Eu tenho um deles, se não me engano. Que é este aqui, esta estátua.
I could get used to this, you know.
Tenho já subi 10 com ele. Não tenho mais nada, supostamente. Joining Chariots, Duncan's Shield. Não tenho mais nada. Passa para o próximo. Presentes para o cão. Pois, eu tenho. Não vai fazer nada, né? Mas. Eu dou aqui ao Toby porque merece. Pronto, só mesmo porque sim. Não tenho mais nada do Toby, não. Viviana, da Viviana, se não me engano é isto aqui. Eu parecia. Então, Viviana. Bota.
That's a wonderful thought. I don't know what to say.
Chandra Muet. E não tenho mais nada. Steel Symbol of Vanessa, não. Morrigan. Tem uma coisa do Morrigan. Acho que é um colar. Gold Amulet. Tem aqui, não? Golden Mirror, Golden Rope. Não, tenho aqui. Isto é para Morrigan. Morrigan, toma.
I am grateful. 'Tis
Locket.
thoughtful indeed.
Silver Chain, tem aqui, não. Silver Medallion, não. Ogren. o Ogren é fácil, tudo que é vida para o Ogren. Só que eu não tenho aqui na Ogren. O Stan. Eu acho, não sei se tem alguma coisa para o Stan. Stan. Painting. É isto aqui para o Stan. Stan. Painting of Rebel Queen. Não. Stan Swords. Também eu não tenho este de espada dele. E não tenho nada. Vinho. Quem gosta de vinho? A Wine gosta de vinho? Tá certo. Wine. É giro. Aqui do Secret Companion, que é um bosta. Não. Vou deixar estes presentes, não são mais especiais para ninguém, então vou falar aqui um bocado com o Alistair.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army.
Eu sei que
The
são.
other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
Have you hunted many mages? No. So could others learn those talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted.
Yeah.
And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
So you're addicted to this lyrium?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templar's talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Ainda bem, meu, foi. Imagina se fosse viciadão.
What do you need?
I'll ask you something.
Ask away.
Can you teach others to be a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not.
Ok, ainda não
When the
tenho
Grand
confiança com ela.
Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets
Ainda não
outside
tenho
of the
confiança
Chantry.
comigo.
I'd rather
Foi
not go
ensinar.
back on my word.
Na boa, na boa. Very well, I respect your word.
Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind.
É.
This is not something small you're asking, after all.
Na boa, Alisson, na boa. Depois eu te
What do you
pergunto outra
need?
vez. I'll ask you
Ask
something.
away.
Ok, vamos continuar então.
What do you need?
Blá blá blá.
Ask away.
Why have you reminded Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
Tá certo. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen you here in the geek.
I keep it hidden under my pillow. Sometimes I'll take it out just so I can hug it fondly and remember the good old days. Brings a tear to the eyes, you know.
Tá bem então. Hum. Do all Templars make those jokes or just you?
Oh, you know, between all the guilt and the hours spent in solemn prayer, any good Templar or priest is just bursting to tell a few good jokes when the opportunity arises. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
Por acaso quer saber. I do really want to know, yes.
Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life, Alistair. All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al-Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
What did you enjoy about the training?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
My home was taken over by RO.
Right. Stupid of me to ask. I'm sorry. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Although that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost.
Verdade.
I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Ok. Então vou aqui falar com este gajo.
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the Coins? Levy the Trader?
Nope. I'm Asher. I've never heard of you.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What promise Duncan... What promise did Duncan make to you?
Well, as you know, my family's name is mud around noble circles. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Ou seja, tu eres um nobre. Just tell me what I need to know now. What happened next?
Hard to say. After King Arland died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
I'm surprised you kept your name.
Our family's only crime was guarding the kingdom against the blight. We're not ashamed of that.
So what favor did you ask Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honor.
O que já é bom. I never even heard of Soldier's Peak.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honor.
Why didn't Duncan help you?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new wardens and meeting with good King Caelan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostergar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
Pois. Your famous fate will be rewarded. I will help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Sim, só que também não vai ser agora. Deixa-me upar um pouco, estás a ver? Eu não estou preparado para isso. Vou falar aqui com o Stan.
Why are we stopping?
We're working together. Think I should get you to know? No. We are working together. I think I should get to you. Pô.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
Are you alright? You were in that cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight. I never seen a canary before. Tell me about your people. No.
Eu esqueci que o gajo vai secar às vezes. Esqueci completamente. Algo do teu povo. Não. Peço desculpa. I was expecting that.
Get used to disappointment. People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of... The elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
You said you were in the army.
I am.
Have you ever fought in a war?
I have always fought in war, human.
Okay. So you must know your way around the battlefield then.
Some of them. They aren't all alike.
None of these it is. Never mind. Let's keep moving.
As you wish.
O Stan é assim. Ai, Stan. Vamos falar aqui agora.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask something.
If you must.
Meu Deus. Uh, have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
And you are cute when you're invasive.
Really? Perhaps we should be wrapped in ribbons and adorned with flowers. So cute are we, too. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Tá certo. I feel sorry for the Templars.
They came with as much swagger and
não
arrogance as
devia
they
ter
did
dito isto.
self-righteousness.
Eu pensei na família
Pity them
Irónica.
if you wish, for they held none for us. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Não devia ter dito aquilo que eu pensei na forma irónica. Esqueci-me como o personagem não tem ironia. É só no segundo e no terceiro jogo que o gajo passa a ter ironia. Flemeth use you as a bait?
'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the Wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
They got what they deserve.
Perhaps they did. Still, I do not begrudge them doing what they believe is necessary. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates. And apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true. Still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
I agree completely.
Oh, I hope you're not simply being agreeable. It would be a refreshing change. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
Não, tipo, eu acho que os magos vêm sobre isso, realmente. Mas pronto.
What do you wish of me?
I've asked you to discuss something personal.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Why are you still here? Não. Esquece isso.
What do you wish of me?
I like to ask you something.
If you must.
Is famous really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
I'm not yours bad. Apart from Maleficar.
You mean, is she truly the Flemeth of legend and story? Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Okay. That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago is this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, My mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord, who looked on from afar. Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife. And Osen agreed.
Flemeth must have been angry.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Wilson then.
That was not the point. Conobar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Of course, Cormac is a revered hero, I understand.
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Ok. Depois tu descobres. How is that Flemeth has survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Pois. Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but
Acho que
you
tenho
are
vontade de só
welcome.
acreditar
Dare
nela.
I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
My mother died recently, in fact.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
Ok. Então vamos falar aqui também com estes.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me.
So what's your story exactly?
I suppose since you told me about you being a Grey Warden, it's only fitting for me to be as open. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
What's the glory?
Our kingdoms once spanned the length of Thados, from majestic Orzammar to Kalsharok to glittering Darmalin far to the west. They say the gold and silver veins ran so thick through the stone of Darmalin that the entire city sparkled. The Darkspawn took it all, of course. One by one, the old tigers fell, and then all that was left was Orzammar. But we were talking about how I ended up here, weren't we? One day, a noble woman came to my stall. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
What happened to them?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Isn't that stealing?
To the nobles it is. They believe everything in the tigers belongs to the house that once dwelled there, even if it's in ruins and they haven't seen it in generations. The noble woman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
And now here you are.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
O boy. Onde é que está aqui o boy? Acho que,
Of course. Good fortune to you and yours.
acho que eu tenho que
Goodbye.
clicar no boy. Boy. Cá, boy.
Hello.
The
Hello.
boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a...
Enchantment.
A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
Este gajo tem meio cara de otário. Tem meio voz de otário, mas este gajo é especial. E até hoje eu ainda não vi nada revelado muito acerca dele. Mas este gajo é especial. I want some enchanting done.
Enchantment.
Yes. Ok, deixa eu ver. Então, dano elétrico. E uma chance de reduzir o movimento. Está bacana. Ok.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me.
Let me see your wares, about them.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Ah, que fofo. Então deixa cá ver. Tem aqui uns presentes especiais. Estão a ver? Os presentes especiais que é da DLC. Eu não vou usar isto. Eu vou tentar falar o máximo com eles. Dar os presentes do jogo base. Para melhorar o relacionamento com eles. À moda como devia ser. Porque realmente, olhem para aqui.
You and your friends are formidable.
Olhem para aqui, ó. Não, estes presentes não são muito caros, ó. Tenho 5 moedas de ouro. O gajo compra alguns presentes destes e pá, fica com 100 de amizade em toda a gente. Fora estes aqui que não custam nada. Então, embora que alguns destes servem para piorar a relação, por exemplo, Angry Boots, dás estas botas feias à Viviana e a tua relação com ela vai lá para a casa do caralho. Então pronto. Não vou estar a comprar isto. É só isso que eu tenho que usar. Grey Warden and Pumpet. Meu Deus. Eu Viviana ia gostar disto aqui. Mas pronto. Deixa eu ver. Ah, olha. Tenho aqui o resto da armadura. Eu tenho aqui o Blood Dragon Plate. Tenho aqui as luvas. E tenho o capacete aqui também. Ok. Ok, está na hora de ver coisas. Ok. Para mostrar aqui, um exemplo prático do que eu estou a falar, vamos cá ver. Então, eu vou aqui ao
There's
gajo, né?
anything
Peço para comprar as cenas. Então, olha, eu vou fazer aqui. Vou comprar entre aspas, que isto está grátis. As botas feias e o Abençador. Então, vou aqui as personagens. Morgan, chega aqui. A Morgan está com 23, ainda está com neutros. A sério, Morgan? Tá bom. E manda aqui, ó.
I
Pá,
am
50
grateful.
logo.
'Tis thoughtful indeed.
E ela está neutra. Chega aqui na Viviana. Manda umas botas feias. Pá!
Lovely, I suppose.
Menos 50. Hostile. Por acaso, como é que é a cena hostile dela? Quer ver, quer ver.
What do you want?
Nossa, ela está bem puta. O que tu queres? I think you should go.
Go? What do you mean, go? You want me to leave?
I want to be safe, go when I know it's like me, so you just go already.
You don't have to tell me twice.
E é assim que um gajo perde a Viviana. Mas obviamente que eu não. Isto foi só um teste, né? Nem cagando que eu ia perder a Viviana. Nem cagando. Eu quero a Viviana no meu lado. É só para vocês verem. Então, deixa eu ver como é que está a relação com os personagens. O Alistair estou com 20, está neutro. A Morgan é 23, né? E a Viviana estou com 21. A Viviana nem diz neutro, só é 21. Acabou. Está certo. E o Stan. Estou com quanto no Stan? Stan estou com 2. Ganda Stan.
Yes.
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
That's enough for
Then
now.
I suggest we move on.
Ok, não tenho nada para procurar neste caso. What were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
That's not what I meant. Do you... Cute, you are the silent type, I see.
Your grasp of the obvious is remarkable.
Olha a audácia deste filho da puta. Fine, let's drop this for now.
Parshera, was there anything else?
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Why did you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
Olha aqui, Stan. Olha aqui, Stan. Tu queres uma porrada? É que tu queres, Stan. Eu já vi cenários mais simpáticos que tu, ok? Tu ao lado do Iron Bull, tu não és nada. Tu és um bosta. Tá bom, Iron Bull, dá-te com os cornos, vais ver, filha da puta. You came out this way for what?
For someone so dismissive of questions, you ask a great many.
Okay. What was the question?
The Arishok asked what is the Blight. By his curiosity, I am now here.
Olha, o Gandalf Shock. Ixi, ele vai aparecer no segundo jogo. Don't you have to report back them?
Yes.
Okay, so when are you going to do that?
Never. I cannot go home.
Eu peço desculpa, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Can we move on? We keep the dark spawn waiting.
Ok, vamos andando.
As you wish.
Ok, agora estou com 10. Agora estou com 10. Dá para falar alguma coisa mais no
Yes.
final? I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Ok, não tenho nada.
Very well.
I think no. I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
Acho que agora tenho. Também não tenho.
Then I suggest we move
Ok,
on.
não posso falar mais contigo.
As you wish.
Chato. Então vamos a partir com o cãozinho.
Oh, why, you little...
Did you just jump on the side of your own shadow again?
Oh, you're so funny. Such rapier wit. Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Nossa. Bad dog. That's not very nice.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me. I once heard a really old legend about how the hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
Nossa.
Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
É nem porque essa que são, officer. I never feed you another human being.
It's not cannibalism if he's eating it, you know.
Ok. Acho que agora. É,
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
ok.
A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
Is that of the kind he means well?
The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
You hear the lady?
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
É, nem porque essa questão toda com o cão. You're a mean lady.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Ok. Vamos voltar para Wandering.
Yes.
Indeed. Indeed.
Ver as outras quests que eu ainda não fiz. Ok. Tem aqui um crate. O que é que isto tem? Leather armor. Não. Estranho, eu devia ter quests aqui, meu. Não percebo. Porque eu devia ter quests. Ok. Então venha.
Oh, this should be good.
Oh, isto está quase a morrer, não estou a perceber. Ok, Mata o gajo, ok, isto é uma quest. Isto é do quê? Help the shelter, we need out the bandits. Ok, falta mais 2 grupos. Está aqui mais um grupo dos bandidos. E o Alves já foi. Manda aqui o 7. Ok, já está. Mata este. Vem cá, não bate. Não faz. Vais morrer.
Going.
Eu disse que morrias. Tem que ir lá. Casa do Orchestra. Ok. Ela, o que é isto? Acho que ganhaste uma nova armadura, Orchestra. Deixa cá ver. Ih, é muito pesado para ti, meu. Mas pronto, se tens uma nova armadura, como é que te sentes? Tinha aqui um capacete Canary. Não muda nada, mas é nice. E Babiana, tenho que ter um capacete para ti também. Este é melhor. Ok. Eu não tenho cinto para ti, não tenho. E eu agora vou ser o maior gajo a correr. A correr não, vou dar rápido, vocês vão ver, calma aí. Vou ter aqui um Power e um Constituição. Ó. É este aqui, né? É, este aqui, meu, espetáculo. Este aqui mesmo. Eu agora vou atacar a banda rápido, vocês vão ver. Que isto já faz algum tempo. Acho que aqui havia um urso. Eu lembro-me que havia aqui um urso. Onde é que era? Ok.
Yes.
Olha aqui, vou dar rápido. Olha aqui, atacar nas costas. Brau! Sou muito rápido. Agora eu mato tudo, meu. Esquece isso. Agora sim, vale a pena. Morri de graça. Agora vale a pena. Vamos ver? Vem cá, seu arrombado. Senão vais morrer. Easy. Agora está muito easy. Manda aqui força. 25. E... um aqui de constituição. Deixa cá ver o que é que eu posso meter daqui. Vou ter aqui o overpower. Ok. supostamente a quest já está feita. Vou pedir desculpa. Pronto, já pedi desculpa. Mas a quest está feita, supostamente. Ok, vamos lá ver.
Morrigan, do you believe in the Maker?
Certainly not. I've no primitive fear of the moon, such that I must place my faith in tales so that I may sleep at night.
But this can't all be an accident. Spirits, magic, all these wondrous things around us, both dark and light. You know these things exist.
The fact of their existence does not presuppose an intelligent design by some absentee father figure.
So it is all random then. A happy coincidence that we are all here.
Attempting to impose order over chaos is futile. Nature is, by its very nature, chaotic.
I don't believe that. I believe we have a purpose. All of us.
Yours, apparently, being to bother me.
Ok. Ok, vamos cá ver então.
Let him take notice and shine upon thee, for thou hast done his work this day.
Ok. Agora continuamos quests. Aqui o que é o urso. Tem aqui a descrição se alguém quiser ver. Aqui também. Pois, o da mãe é qualquer coisa. Já vou fazer aqui o da mãe já. Calma aí, mas antes disso, eu volto. Vamos continuar aqui então. Aqui, se não me engano, já tem aqui a quest da mãe do outro. Que deve estar para aqui. Não era para aqui, era? Afinal está ali a gaja. Morre tudo. Oh, Doguinho, está quieto, morri. Pá, veio mais a companhia toda. Doguinho, morre. Também, Doguinho, morre. Morre, seu arrombado, morre. Quer morrer um tempo. Não dropou nada? Não. Pronto, está aqui a mãe do outro. You found the body of the boy's mother and have recovered her. Como é que é? Keepsake. É keepsake, se não me engano. Agora os ursos. Onde é que estão aqui os ursinhos? Acho que é para aqui, se não me engano, o urso. É. Olha os bichões vindos dos moleques!
Be careful!
Vai, sério, vai! Vai com eles, você, vai! Vais virar comida do ursinho, você. Morreu? Não é isso que eu queria ter feito, mas olha, morre. Já está. Quest feitas, vamos então parar para o Sentry's Board. Vamos aqui falar aqui então com o Devon.
The path of righteousness is full of hardship, but the Maker smiles upon its travelers. And the stars stood still, the winds did quiet, and all animals of earth and air held their breath. All was silent in prayer and thanks. And Eileen spoke unto the masses, my hearth is yours, my bread is yours, my life is yours. For all who walk in the sight of the Maker are one. Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
Já está tudo. Já está tudo. Acabou. Só isto. Que bosta. Está certo então, prontos. Está certo. O que é que o gajo vai fazer? Ok. Estamos de volta aqui no acampamento. Então, olha, antes de acabarmos o episódio, vamos só aqui falar mais um pouco com a história com a Liliana.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
So what happens now? Now that there's just two of us.
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Logain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
Nossa, muito bem. Will we need to start rebuilding the order?
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be two of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
Okay. What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
Acho que não tem perguntas mais
About the Grey
interessantes.
Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough.
Yeah, acho que não tem mais
What
perguntas
do you need?
interessantes. I'd like to
Ask
ask
away.
something. So how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
Muito engraçado. If you don't be an idiot. I mean, before that.
Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the usual sort.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
You think Duncan took pity on you?
I don't know. Maybe. When he came looking for recruits, I just remember praying fervently to the Maker that he would pick me. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
I'm sorry.
No, it's... I'm sorry. I shouldn't be. It's fine. He died a hero. They all did. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Ok. Agora só mais um bocadinho com a Viviana. What?
Yes? Something you need? Yes? What's on your mind?
I heard that in Orlais, mysteries are often spies.
Where did you hear this?
Someone told me this a long time ago.
And you believe everything you hear? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers. But some of them are what we call bards.
And the bards are spies?
Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
Do they spy on Ferelden?
Some do. Mostly, it is nobles spying on other nobles. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the Empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
You're just not some innocent sister. You're a bard, weren't you?
I have revealed too much, it seems, but it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past.
I never lived that. It sounds exciting.
The excitement of the life wears off very quickly, I'm afraid. I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to see the Maker brought me here.
Ok.
Yes?
Vou ver se ela já me pode me ensinar. Can you teach me to be a bard?
There's an idea. I've watched you, and I do think you'd find some of my skills quite easy to pick up. Let's just go over there, away from the others. For safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
Ok. Pronto. Não é aqui. Também não é aqui. Rocha, aqui? Não. Então. Eu juro que seria aqui, meu. Yeah, what? Por que não aparece aqui os... Ah, pronto, aparece-me assim. Eu posso selecionar Bard, né, que eu tenho nível. Mas sabem uma coisa? Nem cagando. Eu não quero ser Bard. Bard para mim é um bocado inútil. Bard seja mais para ela mesmo. Como eu disse, eu vou ser um Assassin e um Duelist. E nós podemos ter duas especializações, né? Então a Babiana vai ser um Bard e uma Ranger. Os outros, deixa cá ver. Uau, isso sério. Pá, é um Templário, vai ser um Templário. Já não sei qual é o outro, mas basicamente vai ser um tanque. O Mauser vai ser o tanque. O Stan vai ser porra nenhuma que eu vou cagar um bocado para ele. A Morrigan vai ser porra nenhuma que eu vou cagar um bocado para ele. Parece mal, mas pronto. Sei lá, é porque eu tenho os meus. A minha equipa já, né? Pá, neste momento eu tenho dois deles. A Morrigan está comigo porque ela é a única maga. Porque depois vem uma outra pessoa para substituir a Morrigan. Então, prontos. Vamos ficar aqui, por aqui neste episódio. No próximo episódio vamos finalmente para Redcliffe. Falar lá com o Arviman. Se não me engano é o nome dele, Arviman. Mas vai falar com o Arviman e pedir ajuda e tal. E vamos ver se o gajo nos consegue ajudar ou não. Então, espero que tenham gostado e fui!